Hey everybody, it's Jack from Six Blog. I'm Stick, and today I want to do another unboxing video on a new knife. Now I want to say that ever since I got my Benchmade Griptilian a couple of weeks ago, it actually kind of led into me being a little more curious about knives. And ever since then I've been hanging out on Smoke Eater 908's YouTube channel a lot, and watching a lot of his videos and just kind of making comments and back and forth discussion with him about a lot of different knives. As well, whenever I actually got my Griptilian, I was talking with, I listened to Brian Green and Gizmo Joe on a hike talking about different knives, and I kept hearing Spyderco come up. So it seems like Spyderco is a pretty good knife. It seems like they make a quality item, and a lot of people seem to appreciate that. So I figured there are a couple of Spyderco knives. I've been looking at them for a while. There are a couple of Spyderco knives that I wouldn't mind getting. However, of course, as you know, knives cost money. Some of them cost, not trying to say that they're overpriced, but some of them cost more money than just pocket change. So to start with, I ended up getting the Tenacious, which is what I have here. Now, saying that, there are two other knives in specific that I would like to get that are Spyderco's. However, they're just over $100 each. One of them being the Paramilitary 2, and the other being the Sage. They both use a more premium grade steel on their knives, and I don't know, they look interesting. I hear a lot of good things about them, so kind of hard for me to exactly say what it is about them that makes me want them, other than it's just something I'm interested in. So anyway, today I just want to do a little unboxing on the Spyderco Tenacious here, and I would say, just like I said, forgive me for the review, because I'm not that knowledgeable about all the different types of steels and the grinds and the shapes of the blade and just the various things that make up a knife. I'm still reading about them, watching videos, and trying to learn about them. So forgive me if I say something that doesn't exactly make sense. And if you don't mind, feel free to leave a post or a comment at the bottom and correct me on it. However, I just ask not to be a smart butt when you do it. So anyway, just go ahead and first off open up the box to show you what it is and how they come packaged. I will say that this is not the first time I've opened the box since I've got it. I have opened the box, and I've actually made a change to the knife. Not a big drastic change. It's something that should actually be expected in my opinion. But anyway, just to start off, show you how they come packaged. They all come in the box here. Golden Colorado is written on it here. See on the ends, the barcode, Tenacious is the knife that I have here, and then just a couple of little fun facts. And then it's printed in China, and it is recycled material. So anyway, open it up, and this is how they pretty much come packaged. I assume this is the only knife I have by Spyderco, so that's my assumption thus far. The knife comes in a piece of plastic wrap. I'm not sure if they all do, or if just the lower priced, lower models do. Also, I didn't mention this knife, MSRP is $59, but you can find them $30 to $40 range pretty easily. This one was $35 on Amazon, and you could probably find it cheaper if you looked around. But anyway, the knife itself, it comes just in a plastic sleeve. And of course, there's a book, just as the book says, product information and warranty guide. And then, of course, the actual cardboard box with just a little foam insert to help kind of cushion the knife while it's in the box. So kind of put all that aside and go ahead and open this. And here is the knife. So real quick, I just want to spit out some specs. Basically, you can get these on the website, the Spyderco website, and it's just specs about the knife. Not really too many things that I think that can be said differently as far as what's listed on the website, because it is what it is. So to start off with, start at the blade end. The blade is made of 8CR13 MOV steel, and if you flip it over on this back side, you'll see right there it says China. As far as I understand, this is Chinese steel. Now what I'm wondering is, since it says Golden Colorado all over the box, I'm wondering if this is actually steel that they get from China. Maybe ship it in and do all the work to it here in Golden. and then package it up and sell it. I'm not 100% sure on that. I don't know how it works. That's just my take on it. But anyway, as far as the steel, 8CR 13 MOV, it's not one of the premium super steels. It's one of the lower grade steels that they sell on their knives. And I've read a lot of mixed reviews. Actually, just before I did this video, I watched a YouTube video. I can't remember the guy's username. But he does a lot. He's got a lot of videos and stuff on his knives. And he does a lot of rope tests and stuff like that. And I was actually watching a rope test on this knife. And basically he took like 9 feet of hemp rope and he cut it in 1-inch sections. And before he started, he showed that it was sharp. He did some paper cut test with it. And then he would cut the rope, and then he did some more paper cut tests to see if the blade or the steel actually held its edge. And it did hold its edge somewhat, not perfect. But anyway, it made me feel pretty good about the knife as far as the steel is concerned. It is not, like I said, it is not a super steel. However, saying that, from what I understand, it is maybe softer. It doesn't have great edge retention, according to some people. But on the flip side of that, a lot of people say that it's also easy to maintain as far as sharpening it. So that's something I need to learn and try to halfway master, is sharpening a knife. So that's just something that'll just have to take time. It does have a flat grind on it, meaning that it's thick at the top, and as it goes down towards the cutting edge, it just constantly gets narrower until it gets all the way to the edge. However, it does seem like there's a little bitty micro bevel on the end. So I don't know if it's considered a full flat grind or what, but anyway, that's what it says on the website. And also, as far as the blade, Spyderco calls this a leaf-shaped blade. Again, I don't understand what the difference in all. I understand, they look different, but I don't understand the benefits as to this type of shape versus some other shapes that they have out there. Of course, it also has an oversized Spidey hole. That Spidey hole, which is this big hole here, obviously that's the trademark symbol of the Spyderco knives. And obviously on this Tenacious, it's an oversized hole. I don't know how much oversized, but I don't know, they call it an oversized Spidey hole. As you can see, there is some jimping in 2 different places on this knife. No other jimping anywhere else. There's some right here where the blade actually meets the handle, and that's fairly aggressive jimping. And also, I like it because the blade is so much higher than the back here. You can really get your thumb in there and really get a grip on this knife. So if you're doing any kind of cutting or anything like that, you can really get a good firm grip. And then it also has some jimping back here on the liner lock, and that's good because that kind of gives you a little bit of counter resistance. You can kind of pull back and kind of really get a grip and cut what you need to. As far as the handle, this handle is G10. This is I was really interested in checking out the feel of the G10 when I ordered this. The Paramilitary 2 comes with G10, and from what I understand, watching other people's videos and reading some stuff, they feel different. Actually, some people say that this feels smoother than what's on the Paramilitary. I don't know, it feels pretty grippy actually. I kind of like it. It will take some getting used to though. It's not like the handle on my Griptilian by no means. But I'm not saying that it's a bad thing. I like the way it feels. Just kind of rubbing my fingers across it and stuff. And I don't know. But it's a G10 handle. You can look inside there. You can see it does have steel liners on both sides. I don't know how well you can see that showing up. And also, if you can tell, they are skeletonized. They have all those little holes drilled in them. And basically that just helps cut out some weight on the knife. And speaking of weight, the website lists this at 4.1 ounces. I did weigh it on my scales here at home, and it also comes with 4.1 ounces. So weights are pretty much right on. And also, if you'll notice here, the back of this knife is non-enclosed. It's actually open. So if any water or anything, you're cutting anything with it, it'll actually flow right through the handle. It won't get stuck inside the handle and make it hard to clean. And then they also use what they call the Walker liner lock. Some guy named something Walker. I don't know. Basically, I don't know. All it is you can tell here on this one liner, on this one side here, it's actually kind of like a spring. Push it over and that unlocks it so the blade will move freely. However, whenever you open it, that will actually, let me show you kind of here. You open it, and that liner there, that piece actually springs over and gets in behind the blade, and that's what allows it to lock in place. And I don't feel any up or down motion with this knife. However, I do think that there is a hair bit of side to side motion, so I'm not sure about that. Other than that, that's really about all the specs I can tell you. Yeah, one other thing, I did say that I did a little bit, I changed something on the knife, and basically all I changed was this the carry clip. As you can see here, this is a 4-way metal carry clip, and you can actually change it to where it will carry tip up, tip down, and you can do it whether it's on the left or right. Right now I have it so it carries tip up, and it is for a right-handed person, so it would be in my pocket this way here. And I'm getting used to tip up. All of my other knives I ever had in the past, which I never really paid a whole lot of attention to when I had them, they were always tip down, and then when I got my Griptilian, it was tip up, and you can't carry it tip down. So I figured I want to try and see how I like tip up. So whenever this one came, I just simply took a T6 star head wrench screwdriver, and I just took these three screws out right here from down here, and then turned it over, put it in here, and screwed it in. And then of course you can see it does have a lanyard hole. It's not a huge lanyard hole, but it will accept a piece of cord. I didn't measure it to see what size cord, but you can see how big it is there. But anyway, that's the Spyderco Tenacious. Like I said, I paid $35 for this, and I plan on using it as just kind of an everyday carry knife. I need to get me a sharpening system. I like the Spyderco Sharp Maker. However, after hanging out on Spyderco on Smoke Eater 908's channel, I'm really liking that Wicked Edge. It seems like something that would be really easy to use, and really easy to use for everything from my kitchen knives to my pocket knives. So I'm not sure. I need to get one of them eventually so I can start maintaining my edges. And that's pretty much why I got this knife, because like I said, at the moment I don't have a way to sharpen them really well, so I decided I would buy this knife and use this as just kind of my everyday carry instead of my Griptilian, so that I'll kind of not ruin the blade, but use the far out of this blade rather than on my Griptilian. Just until I can get me a good sharpener and learn how to sharpen it and maintain it, and then I'll use whatever I happen to pick up. But anyway, overall I do like this knife so far. It's definitely noticeable in my hand. It's a little bit heavier and bigger than what I kind of anticipated. I thought that it would be just a little bit bigger than my Griptilian, and it is. It kind of feels that way. But anyway, it's a different kind of feel because it's actually thinner than my Griptilian, and it just feels different in my hand. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing or anything, though. I look forward to carrying this knife and seeing what my overall thoughts are. I will say one thing, that my this pocket clip really does a good job at clipping to my pocket. It's really tight. I may need to loosen it up or something, I don't know. But it's more difficult to get this in and out of my pocket than the clip on my Griptilian. But anyway, that's pretty much it. The Spyderco Tenacious. Like I said, hopefully I'll be able to save some money and get either the Paramilitary 2 or the Sage next and see how I like that. I like the Sage because I can get it with a carbon fiber handle, and I think that's neat, being a ultra lightweight backpacker. Not that I plan on using these for backpacking, but more so just everyday carry. But being an ultralight backpacker, you know, whenever you talk about things like carbon fiber, that's just awesome. So I'm looking forward to getting those and trying those out eventually. But until then, I'm going to see how I like this one. And anyway, I appreciate you for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to post them below, and I'll do my best to answer those or get back to you and reply to your comments. Also, as I mentioned earlier, if you haven't already checked out Smoke Eater 908, if his YouTube channel, I highly suggest you go and check out his YouTube channel. He's got all kinds of videos on different knives and cook kits and just all sorts of fun-filled stuff. But anyway, I appreciate you watching. See ya.